We'll show you how a Frankfort church is helping dozens of teenagers who were involved in a church bus crash on the interstate.
Showers and thunderstorms scattered across much of central and eastern Kentucky. We'll track those and additional rounds when I come back in a moment.
A decomposed body is found in a central Kentucky shed. Find out who police have charged with murder.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. It's a stormy and steamy start to the week. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington where it's 86 degrees right now. A few places have hit 90 today. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, dealing with another temperature day, Jennifer. Not too bad out there across central and eastern Kentucky, but the scattered showers and thunderstorms continue to put down some locally heavy downpours. We take a look at the numbers in a moment. Right now, let's look at Defender and those scattered thunderstorms that are out there. Temperatures, again, held in check today because of the clouds, because of those scattered showers and storms. We go into southern parts of the area, getting in on a little isolated thunderstorm around the Lake Cumberland area. Some action extending a little farther to the east into parts of Jackson County, Boonville into Owsley County. One lone little shower to the northwest of the Stanford area. Get into the Lexington metro, north and east side of town. Now we're beginning to see a little more in the way of those scattered showers and storms, stretching from Cynthiana through Bourbon County into Montgomery County, with the greatest concentration here right on top of the Mount Sterling area, basically bracketing Interstate 64, one to the north, a couple to the north, one to the south as well. We put everything into motion with showers and storms that have been fairly common throughout the day. Most areas only, again, mid-80s this afternoon, 79 into Richmond, one of the cooler spots, 82 into Danville. Moral of the story, if you are outside of any shower thunderstorm action, your typical normal into the mid and upper 80s, showers and storms keeping the numbers down just a little bit for folks who are getting underneath those. When I come back in a little bit, we're going to track an increase in the showers and storms and a decrease in the temperatures.
Thanks, Chris. We'll see you in 15 minutes. We're learning more about a crash involving a church bus on Interstate 64 that sent 15 people to the hospital. 12 of the injured are teenagers. The crash happened this morning at the 58-mile marker in the eastbound lanes. Mark Barber shows us how a Frankfort church is helping the church group in our top story at 4.
34 teenagers were on the church bus when it crashed. 12 of them were taken to the hospital. Those who weren't hurt were all brought here to the Capital City Christian Church, where they say they are waiting for their friends to be released from the hospital. It could be another day before 2 of the people who were hurt in the crash are released from the hospital. In all, 15 people were rushed to hospitals after the church bus slammed into a SUV. There was a baby in that vehicle and 2 babies in the bus, but deputies say fortunately they were not hurt. Those who were injured tell us they are mainly scraped and bruised. Deputies say a few people may have some broken bones. The bus was taking the teenagers from the Indianapolis area to Gatlinburg, Tennessee for a conference. The crash happened near mile 58 on I-64 eastbound around 11 a.m. Crews say that traffic was already backing up there from another crash involving an 18-wheeler. A church leader who helped injured high school students get off the wrecked bus says the crash could have been much worse.
In the moment, a lot of crying, a lot of running around, not knowing what to do. So I'm just very thankful that I'm okay. A majority of us were okay.
State police tell me they are not going to charge the driver of the church bus. In Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
We've also learned Capital Christian Church will find hotel rooms for people in the group if they decide to wait until everyone is released from the hospital. Now to a story that's new at 4, a murder investigation in Clark County, and it happened nearly 3 months ago. The suspect is this man, Roger Kinney. On May 9th, deputies went to the Trapp community to arrest Kinney on a different charge. He escaped from the back of the cruiser. The sheriff's department then got a tip that Kinney killed someone the next day, but they could never find the body. Investigators say a man was bush hogging on Kinney's property last Thursday when he found a decomposed body in a shed. They believe they know who it is, but won't say until they get positive ID through dental records. They do say no one had reported the man missing. A woman is seriously injured in Lincoln County after she was attacked by a pack of dogs. The sheriff's department says the 7 dogs attacked Loretta Stevens this morning in a rural area of Lincoln County near the Boyle County line on Julian Lane. Stevens has severe injuries to her arm. The dogs belong to a neighbor, Chris Pope, who will face charges of harboring a vicious animal once he's found. Deputies have rounded up 6 of the 7 dogs. We'll have the latest on this investigation coming up at 5. Kroger is recalling 4 seasonings sold in their retail stores because they may be contaminated with salmonella. The recall includes Kroger brand ground cinnamon, Kroger garlic powder, Kroger coarse ground black pepper, and Kroger bacon buds with specific sell-by dates. The recall includes any state where a Kroger operates a store. That includes Kentucky. Customers who bought the items should not use them and can return them to the store of purchase for a refund or replacement. We have all the details about this recall. Just go to WKYT.com. Authorities in Wisconsin say they've tracked a cell phone to locate a plane crash that killed 2 Kentucky men. They started searching for the small plane when it never showed up at the Experimental Aircraft Association convention. The plane and the bodies of 2 men were found hours later in a field in Kenosha County yesterday. The sheriff there says the victims are believed to be from Indiana or Kentucky. The plane was registered to someone in Louisville. The Somerset Police Department is now the first in the state to be allowed to fly drones. The department filed for a certificate with the FAA in February of last year. The unmanned aircraft will be used for low-level photography to create 3-dimensional models of crashes and crime scenes. More on how the police department plans to use the drones on WKYT News at 5:30. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott joins us from the newsroom with some more of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. A judge has ruled a man accused of a triple murder is competent to stand trial. Police say nearly 2 years ago, Kenneth Keith shot and killed Michael and Angela Hawkinsmith and Daniel Smith at the Hawkinsmith's pawn shop in Danville. Today's ruling clears the way for Keith's trial. Prosecutors say they don't know when a date will be set. We'll have details from court on WKYT News at 5:30. An overnight explosion burned a home. People living along Indian Creek Road in Scott County say they heard an explosion around 1 this morning and came outside to see a home on fire. Firefighters say they've been to that home before for meth-related calls. No one was there when firefighters arrived. The home does have a history of criminal activity. You're going to hear from neighbors in that area coming up at 4:30. And upgrades are on the way to Rupp Arena. The Lexington Center Corporation Board has approved a $15 million plan for improvements to Rupp Arena. The upgrades include a new scoreboard and Wi-Fi. The improvements will be done over a 2-year period. We'll have more details on the upgrades coming up on WKYT News at 6. That is a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Funerals are today for the 2 women shot and killed last Thursday at a movie theater in Lafayette, Louisiana. Jillian Johnson, who was 33, was an artist who sang in an all-female band and planted trees to beautify her neighborhood. Macy Bro, who was 21, was studying to be a radiology technician. Police say they were killed when John Hauser opened fire in the theater. He ended up killing himself. President Barack Obama is weighing in on campaign politics, skewering several top Republicans. He said a news conference in Ethiopia where he dubbed their rhetoric outrageous and sad. This comes as Donald Trump is leading the GOP presidential pack in the latest CNN ORC poll. Steve Nannis has the latest from Washington.
A game of political ping pong spanning 2 continents. It started with Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee's comments to Breitbart News over the weekend, where he compared the Iran nuclear deal to the Holocaust.
He's so naive, he would trust the Iranians, and he would take the Israelis and basically march them to the door of the oven.
At a news conference in Ethiopia, President Obama, who has for the most part avoided the 2016 election, fired back.
You know, the particular comments of Mr. Huckabee are, I think, part of just a general pattern that we've seen that would be considered ridiculous if it weren't so sad.
Huckabee's response? What's ridiculous and sad is that President Obama does not take Iran's repeated threats seriously. The president also called out Donald Trump, condemning him for saying Senator John McCain is only a war hero because he was captured.
that arises out of a culture where those kinds of outrageous attacks have become far too commonplace and get circulated nonstop.
The heated rhetoric comes just 10 days before the first Republican primary debate. The outspoken Trump currently leads the pack with 18%. But that same CNN ORC poll shows 39% of registered voters expect Jeb Bush to ultimately win the Republican contest. In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
At a campaign event today in Orlando, Florida, Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush called Mike Huckabee's comments wrong and unfortunate, adding he's not quite sure why he felt compelled to say it.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
U.S. stocks falling for the fifth straight session. The Dow dropped 128 points to close today at 17,441. The Nasdaq fell 49 and the S&P 12. A Central Kentucky bourbon distillery is going high-tech. Buffalo Trace has a new warehouse that uses robotics for automated storage and retrieval of pallets. It's part of a $20 million investment. The system sorts pallets of boxed bourbon, and then 3 cranes organize them into rows. When an order comes in for a pallet, the crane can retrieve it. The president of the Franklin County Distillery says it will make thefts like the 2013 Pappy Van Winkle heist more difficult. Craft beer could soon cost a lot more next year because of a drought along the West Coast. The USDA says Washington farmers produce nearly 75% of the country's hops, a key ingredient used to flavor beer. Demand is up, but the drought could devastate supply. How much should you leave for a tip? New technology has taken out some of the guessing game by giving you options when you pay. But as Brian Webb reports, it also has some people feeling pressured to always tip.
At the local coffee shop, tip jars are being replaced with e-tipping, tablets and apps that let you leave a tip on your credit card with the tap of a button. Some people like it.
E-tipping is nice because I don't have to have change in my pocket.
The programs often give 3 tip options, and that leaves some feeling coerced into giving a higher amount.
You feel kind of like a jerk if you don't do it, right?
Some restaurants are also using electronic tipping, and at some salons, customers can use an app to book an appointment, pay, and tip before they even walk in the door.
We're kind of trying to eliminate that little awkward exchange that sometimes happens at the end of an appointment. So it's all done through the app or online.
This new type of tipping is paying off for workers.
I will take your money however you want to give it to me.
Studies show people are more generous when faced with a screen.
We tip based on merit.
But etiquette expert Patricia Napier Fitzpatrick says customers should only tip if it's earned.
It's up to you how you feel about the service and whether you want to or not, but don't feel guilted to do it if you doesn't warrant it.
Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.
A fun event for a really good cause.
Deanne Stevens out and about at Talon Winery to tell us all about it. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at the beautiful Talon Farm and Winery where they are preparing for a fabulous event happening right here this weekend. They want you to be a part of it. That's why we have this whole host of folks to tell you about the summer concert series. This is a very special summer concert series. We have some beautiful people, Hanal and Dixie from the UK Children's Hospital. You all are putting on a great event happening Saturday. Tell us about it.
So the event benefits the McKenna Foundation, which really all the proceeds go to the Kentucky Children's Hospital and the McKenna David Pediatric ER. The foundation just gives, resources, provides resources for the families and children, gives us equipment, all the things necessary to provide this, excellent care that we do for the children of Kentucky. But the event is 5 to 9 on Saturday, August the 1st. We'll have a silent auction, we'll have some wine going on. We'll have live and local music.
Having great music too, right, Dixie?
Yes, we are. It's 2 local bands.
Mm-hmm. It's Small Batch and the North Side Sheiks.
And you guys make this a lot of fun. What I love about it, you said it's not just for adults out here. It's a farm and winery. Bring out the kids, right?
Oh, definitely. There'll be a kids' carnival with a bounce house and some games. She talked about the silent auction. A lot of the things for the silent auction are geared not just for adults, but also for children. There's going to be a huge frozen basket that's bigger, that's wider than all of us.
And there's a tricycle that we're going to get Dr. Carter on. on, right? Dr. Craig Carter.
On, definitely.
Yeah, and he said, wear the helmet, wear the helmet. Dr. Craig Carter.
See me.
Yeah, is with us. And a lot of folks want to come see you this weekend because they're helping out the UK Children's Hospital, the McKenna Foundation. Little background on that.
Most definitely. So this will be the fifth time we've supported this event. And the McKenna David Pediatric ER, the McKenna Foundation, helped sponsor the building of only the second pediatric ER in the entire state of Kentucky. So we support all the kids in eastern Kentucky, all the way from West Virginia, Tennessee, Ohio, and all the money that they've supported helped build that new pediatric ER that we opened in 2010. Since then, we've seen almost 100,000 kids in less than 5 years that we've helped be able to treat and manage through the pediatric ER.
All right, you can come make a difference. Tickets are only $10. And Paige, they just show up here at Talon. Tell folks where you're located.
We are right off Tates Creek Road, about 5 miles past Man of War, so you can't miss us. We'll be on your left. We're going to have some great wine tasting if you want. They've got some great special label wine here. They've got our Sweet Evening Breeze, which is a Riesling, a Cabernet, a nice blush, which is a white Zen. So everything for everybody to come on out this weekend and enjoy, hopefully, the beautiful weather and a great time with your friends and family.
And help the UK Children's Hospital, the McKenna Foundation. That is the name of the game. 5 to 9 o'clock Saturday night right here at Talon. Coming up at 4:50, more on the fabulous silent auction items. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Doctors in Britain say sleep not only keeps you from forgetting things, but can make memories easier to access. Researchers say sleep study participants almost doubled their chances of recalling memories they had previously forgotten. A study from Yale University and Boston Medical Center suggests many doctors aren't giving new moms critical advice on how to take care of their babies. 20% of mothers polled say their physician did not share with them current recommendations on breastfeeding or the importance of having babies sleep on their backs to prevent the risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Young women with cancer may also be getting a lack of advice from doctors. Some types of cancer treatments can threaten the ability to have children. But researchers in Seattle say male patients were more than twice as likely as female patients to be given fertility preservation options. Keep your elbows off the table, but not your smartphone. IKEA has a new placemat with a pocket for your gadget. It protects your phone from food and drinks, but you can still see when you're getting a call. The new line goes on sale in September.